low hum, wind cutting across an empty landscape. A distant metallic clang echoes. On the night of April 26, 1986, at exactly 1:23 a.m., the world crossed a threshold it didn't yet understand. Some disasters explode, some disasters burn. But Chernobyl whispered. It whispered in the vibration of control rods, in the rumble beneath reactor number 4, in the trembling hands of the young men in the control room. Men who, in a single catastrophic experiment, would unleash more radioactivity than Hiroshima and Nagasaki combined. But that is only the surface. Behind the official reports, behind the declassified memos, behind the melted remains of the reactor, lies a labyrinth of secrets no one was meant to uncover. Strange lights in the sky, unexplained shadow figures in the forest, animals that should not have survived, but did, and a zone where time itself seems wounded, limping forward unevenly. Tonight, we step inside that forbidden world. Welcome to Chernobyl, Shadows of the Forgotten Zone. Before it became a ghost city, Pripyat was a dream, a shining example of Soviet progress, a city for the future, a place designed to live forever, wide boulevards, modern apartments, bright neon signs that lit up the night, a Ferris wheel standing proud in the amusement park, waiting for the upcoming May Day celebration. But Pripyat had something else, something rare in the Soviet Union: youth. The average age was under 26, doctors, engineers, scientists, teachers, people who believed in the glory of atoms in a future powered by human brilliance. They trusted the government, trusted the science, trusted the reactor. No one imagined that the machine they built to power their lives would ultimately destroy them. Yet even in those bright years, old locals whispered something strange. That the land around the Pripyat River had always been different, that animals avoided a specific patch of forest long before the reactor was built, that birds never nested there, that compasses spun strangely, that something ancient lived beneath the soil. But the Soviet Union didn't believe in superstition. They believed in progress, and so the reactor was built, right where the locals said the Earth felt wrong. In the early hours of April 26, 1986, the operators of reactor number 4 were told to conduct a routine test. A test meant to simulate a power outage. A test no one wanted to run. A test that required disabling critical safety systems. Inside the control room, the atmosphere was tense. Alarms were ignored. Protocols were overridden. Warnings were dismissed as faulty instrumentation. The reactor began to behave unpredictably. It's as if the machine itself knew something was wrong. Operators felt static in the air. Some later described feeling a vibration beneath their feet, a deep, resonant humming, almost like breathing. Then at 1:23:40, a flash, a roar, a column of blue-white light shot into the sky, seen by fishermen miles away. Some said it looked like an artificial sun being born. That mysterious flash would later be described as a Cherenkov radiation burst, but others believe something else happened that night. Something nobody expected, something nobody can fully explain. The earth shook, a shockwave tore through the building. Graphite blocks, glowing red-hot, rained down like volcanic rock. Operators were thrown across the room. And then, the silence. The kind of silence that comes before the end of the world. Firefighters arrived within minutes. They didn't wear radiation gear. They hadn't been told what they were dealing with. They approached the glowing ruins unaware that every breath was sealing their fate. But what they saw was not normal. Some described a column of light rising straight from the broken reactor core. Others saw small balls of blue plasma floating in the air. One firefighter later whispered on his deathbed that he saw figures, humanoid silhouettes, walking near the flames. No one believed him, but he wouldn't let it go. He insisted they weren't people, yet they moved with purpose. Were they hallucinations caused by acute radiation, or something else entirely? In the chaos of that night, more strange reports emerged. Birds falling dead from the sky mid-flight. Metallic taste so strong, firefighters felt they were biting aluminum. Dogs howling uncontrollably, refusing to approach the plant. A bright red glow spreading across the clouds in a perfect geometric shape. None of this made it into official reports, but the stories remained, passed quietly from witness to witness, until they became part of the legend of Chernobyl. The next morning, Pripyat residents watched the reactor burn from their balconies, unaware of the invisible storm sweeping through their streets. Children played outside, couples walked to the market, buses rolled calmly down the avenues. But the animals knew. Cats hid, dogs ran in circles and whined, cows refused to graze. And the birds, usually so loud in spring, were silent. At 2 p.m., loudspeakers crackled to life. "Attention, attention! Prepare for a temporary evacuation!" Temporary. That was the lie that broke thousands of hearts. People took nothing, just documents, some food, a toy for their child. They left their windows open for fresh air. They left pets at home with extra water. None of them ever returned. And in the hours after they left, Pripyat changed forever. The city, once filled with laughter and life, shifted into a kind of suspended animation. Hallways echoed strangely. Doors creaked open on their own. Televisions powered off by themselves. Shadows seemed to move where there should be none. Many soldiers later swore the city felt alive, as if it were watching them. What began as a cleanup operation quickly turned into something darker. Soldiers assigned to the zone reported hearing voices in empty buildings, feeling watched from tree lines, seeing animals with glowing eyes, losing time, minutes, sometimes hours, with no memory. Compasses spinning despite no magnetic interference. Radiation can damage the brain. Radiation can cause hallucinations. But all of them? The same things? Too consistent, too coordinated. There were also the so-called black wolves, massive mutated canines seen only at night. Some had patches of skin that looked burned, others had unnatural proportions, longer legs, wider jaws. And then there were the shadows of Pripyat, tall figures seen standing in windows of abandoned buildings, always still, always watching, never found on investigation. Skeptics say these were tricks of light, reflections, or simple fear-driven illusions. But soldiers who served there carry those memories to this day. Located directly behind the reactor, the Red Forest became one of the most radioactive places on Earth. Trees turned copper red within hours. Animals died where they stood. The soil itself seemed poisoned. But then something stranger happened. Life returned, not slowly, not tentatively, but explosively. Wolves, boars, horses, birds, insects, not only returning, but thriving. The Red Forest became more biodiverse than before the disaster. Scientists were baffled. Radiation should destroy life, not amplify it. And yet, wolves were larger, birds were hotter, their body temperature increased unnaturally. Insects showed near impossible resistance to radiation. Plants grew in spirals and patterns never seen before. One researcher found a tree with split rings, meaning it aged 2 years for every 1 year of life. How? That remains a mystery. Some believe the radiation forced accelerated mutations. Others say nature simply adapted. But those who spent nights near the Red Forest report hearing sounds that don't match any known animal. And deep in the forest, there is a location nicknamed the Quiet Circle. No birds, no insects, no wind, a perfect, unnatural silence. Soldiers refused to enter it after one man walked in and later claimed he heard his own footsteps behind him, even when he stood still. In the dark ruins beneath reactor number 4 lies one of the most dangerous objects ever created, the elephant S-foot, a mass of corium, the molten remains of the reactor core, mixed with steel, sand, fuel, and graphite. When it was discovered, it emitted enough radiation to kill a person in minutes. The men who photographed it risked their lives. But the photo itself carries its own mystery. The image is grainy, distorted, almost alive with static. Some claim the distortion wasn't from old Soviet cameras, but from the object itself, almost as if it were warping reality. People who stood near it reported nausea, vertigo, and hallucinations of figures moving behind them. They heard faint metallic scraping from inside the mass and felt like the room was tilting. Radiation can explain much of this, but not all. The elephant's foot also moved very slowly over the years, melting through floors, seeping into walls, as if it had a will of its own. Long before the explosion, workers at the plant reported seeing a massive dark figure with glowing red eyes near the cooling towers. They described a black, winged creature, standing taller than a man, with eyes like burning coal and a screeching sound like tearing metal. Some began calling it the Black Bird of Chernobyl, a warning, a harbinger of disaster. Days before the explosion, plant workers reported vivid nightmares, sudden migraines, and visions of disaster. Was the blackbird a hallucination, mass hysteria, radiation exposure, or something older? Some cryptozoologists compare it to the Mothman of Point Pleasant, another creature seen before a disaster in 1967. Coincidence? Or is there something else? Something that appears to warn humanity before catastrophe? The story of Chernobyl is more than just a nuclear accident. It's a place where science and superstition collide, where the known laws of our world seem to bend and break. It's a warning, not just about our technology, but about the forces we might accidentally unleash, forces that linger in the shadows long after the sirens have faded. On the night of the Chernobyl explosion, satellite imagery captured something deeply unsettling, a bright sphere of light hovering above the reactor for nearly 12 minutes. To this day, science can't fully explain it. Witnesses on the ground described even stranger things: pulsing red orbs near the reactor, blue-white beams shooting straight into the sky, and a faint humming sound unlike any known machine. Some scientists theorize these were atmospheric plasma events caused by ionized air, but others believe something far more mysterious was at play. A classified report, later leaked, contained a chilling testimony from two pilots flying near the disaster zone. They saw, and I quote, "a glowing sphere, rotating slowly, with lightning-like arcs extending from its surface." What were these objects? Bizarre natural phenomena? Or was something drawn to the massive, sudden release of energy? The questions began that night, and they've only gotten deeper since. As the years passed, the Exclusion Zone became a breeding ground for urban legends. Tourists, stalkers, and explorers who venture into the radioactive wasteland all bring back similar, unnerving stories. They talk of shadow figures darting through hallways, the sound of footsteps on broken glass where no one should be walking, and the faint, ghostly laughter of children near the abandoned kindergarten. They describe seeing faces in the windows of buildings that have been empty for decades. One researcher, who was granted permission to stay overnight in Pripyat, documented a terrifying experience. She was awakened in the dead of night by the sound of someone whispering in Russian, right beside her bed. She fumbled for her flashlight, her heart pounding, and when she finally turned it on, nobody was there. The room was empty. Now, we all know radiation is dangerous. It can cause sickness, it can alter DNA, but radiation can't cause whispers. It can't make the sound of footsteps, and it certainly can't create the sound of a child's laughter in a dead city. Or can it? In 1997, two explorers entered a building in Pripyat nicknamed the Hospital of Silence for its unnerving, dead acoustics. They made their way up to the third floor, to a room labeled 305. What they found inside was a scene frozen in time, a perfectly intact hospital bed. A single small child's shoe lying on the floor. A mirror on the wall, cracked but still reflective. The explorers later recounted how the temperature in the room dropped instantly upon entering. One of them swore he heard breathing right behind him, a cold puff of air on his neck. The other caught a glimpse of a shadow moving in the broken mirror, a shadow that didn't match their own movements. Terrified, they ran. On their way out of the building, their Geiger counter, a device designed to measure radiation, went completely haywire. It spiked to impossibly high levels, then suddenly dropped to absolute zero before shutting off completely. What happened in room 305 remains one of the zone's most chilling, unexplained incidents. Perhaps one of the most baffling scientific discoveries in the entire exclusion zone is the existence of immortal fungi growing inside the ruins of the reactor itself. These are not just any fungi, they are radiotrophic, meaning they feed on radiation. They literally consume lethal gamma rays and convert that energy into chemical energy to grow, just like plants use sunlight. Scientists were stunned to find these black fungi growing directly on the reactor's scorched walls. They observed these organisms actively moving towards sources of radiation instead of away from them. Under a microscope, they even saw what looked like primitive shielding mechanisms within the fungi's cellular structure. These life forms simply shouldn't exist. They defy our understanding of biology. And yet, they are thriving in a place where nothing else can survive. Are they the key to understanding life beyond Earth? Or are they proof that Chernobyl didn't just destroy life, but created something entirely new? Beyond bizarre life forms, there are the stories of time itself behaving strangely inside the zone. Over the last 30 years, explorers have reported a growing number of bizarre time-related experiences. Watches that inexplicably stop working at specific locations only to start again once they leave. Digital cameras showing timestamps from days in the past on newly taken photos. Electronic recording devices that suddenly lose hours of footage as if the time was never recorded. People have even reported experiencing short-term memory gaps, losing minutes or even hours after being inside certain buildings. One of the most mind-bending accounts comes from a man who said he walked into an abandoned apartment building at dusk. He explored a single room for what he felt was no more than 2 minutes. But when he stepped back out into the hallway and looked out a window, it was full daylight. Hours had passed in the blink of an eye. Impossible? Maybe. Or maybe the cataclysmic energy released that night warped something much deeper than just the soil and the air. Maybe it warped the very fabric of time. Declassified Soviet documents, released years after the fall of the Union, reveal a much darker layer to the entire story. Chernobyl wasn't just a nuclear power plant, it was a hub for top-secret scientific research. Hidden in plain sight, the Soviets were experimenting with technologies that sound like science fiction. They were testing high-intensity electromagnetic fields, attempting weather manipulation, and conducting advanced plasma physics research. They were even dabbling in mind-influencing ELF waves and developing prototype particle beam weapons. And just 10 kilometers away from the power plant stood the massive, ominous Duga radar array, the infamous Russian woodpecker, a colossal structure whose true purpose remains debated to this day. Some former Soviet engineers believe an undisclosed high-energy experiment was being conducted on the Duga array the very night of the disaster, an experiment that may have overloaded the power grid and contributed directly to the reactor's explosion. Others believe the reactor itself was being used to secretly power this classified research. If any of this is true, it means the disaster wasn't just a simple accident of physics. It was the catastrophic consequence of unchecked human ambition. Today, the Chernobyl exclusion zone is a living paradox. It's dead, yet teeming with life. It's silent, yet filled with echoes of the past. It's abandoned, yet it feels like it's being watched. Tourists now walk through the empty, decaying apartments of Pripyat. Wolves, bears, and wild horses roam freely through the streets. Nature is reclaiming everything as trees and plants break through solid concrete. And that iconic Ferris wheel, which never carried a single passenger, still stands, unmoving, staring at the sky like a giant, unblinking yellow eye. And every year, new stories emerge from the zone, new reports of lights appearing in the windows of buildings that have no electricity, unexplained voices being picked up on abandoned radio frequencies, shadowy figures glimpsed in the tree line at dusk, wild animals that behave strangely, as if they are being directed by something unseen. Is it all just a product of radiation playing tricks on the mind? Is it fear? Is it simply myth-making? Or does the zone, in some way, remember what happened here? Chernobyl is not just a disaster. It's a wound on the face of the earth, a scar in time. It is a place where the past refuses to stay buried. The reactor is now entombed within a massive steel sarcophagus. The city of Pripyat is abandoned to the elements. But the zone evolves. Some believe it is healing, that nature is winning. Others believe it is awakening, that the strange phenomena are growing stronger. And a few people, those who have spent the most time there, whisper a final, terrifying possibility, one too unnerving to ignore. That Chernobyl wasn't just an accident, but an opening, a door, a threshold into a reality that humanity was never meant to touch. They suggest that something ancient, something dormant, was sleeping deep beneath the earth, something that watched silently as humans built a massive, powerful machine right above its resting place. And on the night of April 26, 1986, it woke up. Even today, the radiation levels in the hottest parts of the zone remain lethal, but the legends, the myths, the mysteries, those only grow stronger with each passing year. Chernobyl is more than a place. It's more than a historical disaster. It is a terrifying testament to the fragility of human ambition, and a chilling reminder that there are some places in this world that were never meant to be disturbed. And as the sun sets behind the skeletal silhouette of Pripyat's Ferris wheel, as the wind rustles through the radioactive leaves, as the shadows lengthen across the empty, silent streets, one question remains: what truly happened that night? And perhaps, more importantly, what still lives in Chernobyl's forgotten zone today? Thanks for watching.